Have you ever seen olives growing on a tree? They're beautiful little fruits, but they taste so bitter. Kind of hard to imagine anyone could ever figure out a way to make olives taste good, but thank goodness they did. People have grown olives for thousands of years. In ancient times, olives weren't valued as much for eating as they were for fuel. The original Olympic torch burned olive oil, as did the menorah that stood in the Holy Temple in Jerusalem. In the 1st century CE, Pliny the Elder wrote, "Except for the vine, there is no plant which bears a fruit of as great importance as the olive." Today, beautiful evergreen olive trees grow across the Mediterranean climate regions of the world. Their fruits are cured, dried, or brined for eating. Yet most of those crops go to oil, olive oil. Olive groves span the state from north to south. We're going to visit some of those groves, both big and small, to see how olives are pressed for oil and processed for eating. We'll discover how these bitter fruits become a culinary delight. Today on A Growing Passion. California's Mediterranean climate has long, hot, dry summers, perfect for olive trees. So it's no surprise that olives play a notable role in the state's history. Spanish missionaries brought olives across the ocean, first to South America, then to Baja, Mexico, then north to today's California. Here in the late 1700s, they planted the state's first olive trees at the Mission San Diego de Alcalá. Olive oil was essential for the missionaries. They used it to fuel lamps, in religious rituals, and of course, they used olive oil for cooking. Olives are the ideal crop for California. These tough, beautiful trees are traditionally planted on the leanest soils and the rockiest mountainsides in climates where there's little rainfall and intense heat. Eventually, the mission olive groves had nearly 500 trees. The missionaries referred to them as the madre trees, as they became the source for olive groves across the region. By 1910, there were more acres of olive trees in San Diego than anywhere else in the state. Most of those trees started as cuttings from the original mission olive trees. Their fruits were picked and pickled for eating or made into olive oil. In 1927, Tijuana nightclub owner Vincent Rizzo bought Bernardo Winery, just north of San Diego. This was during Prohibition, so alongside the grapevines, the enterprising Rizzo planted olive trees, descended from the Mission Madre trees. Rizzo soon supplied most of the olive oil to San Diego's huge tuna cannery industry. Several decades later, a transcontinental souvenir destroyed the region's olive groves.
So somebody thought it was a good idea to basically bring an olive branch back from Spain that was loaded with the olive fruit fly, the Spanish olive fruit fly. Each fly lays an egg in the olives. And of course, it's not very delicious to eat an olive with a fly in it. It decimated the entire commercial crop in Southern California, and we were a major producer.
The olive fruit fly remains a serious agricultural pest in coastal Southern California. But with increasing consumer demand and interest in eating local, determined farmers are working hard to bring the olive groves back. Some of California's best olive oils come from the Inland Empire, home to Temecula Olive Oil Company. Temecula Olive Oil is owned by Catherine Pepe and Nancy Curry. Nancy's husband, Tom, is general manager. He oversees the orchards and the presses. Today, we're at the Convergence Harvest Festival at the Temecula Olive Oil Company in Owanga, California. This event pairs the region's best chefs, fishermen, bakers, food artisans, even a gelato maker, with olive oil pressed fresh right here on the ranch.
Oh, that is good.
So healthy for you.
This is a bloomy rind goat cheese soaked in blood orange olive oil from Temecula Olive Oil right here.
What's brought us all together is the olive oil. We've threaded the olive oil through all of the dishes, even from the gelato on down.
It is a roasted tomato panzanella salad. We have all the olive oil and the balsamics and the olives from here. Bread from our restaurant at Urban Wood, and then wild arugula from Steel Lake Farms.
This is your Parmesan roasted spicy tomatoes with mozzarella. This is your three cheeses with basil and olive oil.
I gotta be honest with you, of all my foods, I like gelato the best. And I can't wait to try olive oil gelato with rosemary almonds from Esco Gelato. Sounds like my type of gelato. That is so good. Olive oil is a component of olive fruit juice. The best culinary olive oils are from green olives, since the young green fruits have the freshest, grassiest tasting oils. Tom Curry, who serves as head miller, shows us his favorite crushing technique, a wheel press that gently releases the olive's fruity essence. You walk in here, you're like overwhelmed by the aroma. It's fresh and green and olivey.
Yeah, well, it's one of those aromas that hits like the primordial part of your brain, makes your mouth water, makes you hungry. It really is amazing.
How many pounds are in here? And how
There's
long
about 400 pounds of olives in here. This will take about 40 minutes to crush it up, and then another half hour in the mixer, and then it takes about another half hour to get all the mats together. But we'll have oil within an hour.
Expert tasters describe good olive oil as being fruity, pungent, and bitter. The fruity flavors are grassy, nutty, buttery, even artichokey. Olive oil's pungence is a peppery sensation at the back of the throat, almost like what you get from chili oil. Pungency and bitterness both come from polyphenols, which are strongest in young green olives, and they're natural antioxidants.
So if you breathe back through your nose, you can get like a little grassy, herbal flavors. And then it's burning your throat right now, isn't it?
It is.
So the polyphenols that are naturally occurring in the olive, some of them are brought into the oil, or oil soluble. So on the taste panel, we would call that pungency. And we're looking for a little bit of pungency because that's indicating that there was no heat used, so you know it's fresh.
While the olive oil flows, the tasting bar is a popular spot. Today, California supplies only 5% of the world's commercial olive oil. But as the business develops, there's a growing demand for proprietary blends like these, made by Temecula Olive Oil Company. Olive growers take great pride in the oil they produce, and it all starts with the fruit. On our next visit with Tom, he tours us through the property.
This originally was an old cattle ranch, and when we came here, it was pretty run down. When we started planting here, I went to UC Davis to their plant repository. Every nursery I could find, every variety I could get my hands on, we planted here. We threw them all into this grove to see how they would do in Southern California, and just like people, they all love it. They all do great. So
How many varieties do you think you have?
We have about 32 different varieties here from all over the Mediterranean, Turkey, Tunisia, Italy, Spain, France, Portugal, all these different varieties.
And do they taste different?
They all do have their unique qualities to them, but we pick them all together to make a blend.
It looks like it's the moment of truth, harvest time?
Harvest time, yeah, the most expensive part of the whole process. This is what makes olive oil so pricey.
And why is that?
Well, hand harvesting is expensive, and hands in California aren't getting any cheaper.
What is that?
They're like a little rake, but they've got a kind of a patented motion that they kind of comb the tree and knock the fruit onto the ground. We're always looking to improve this part. It is expensive, time-consuming, but it's an essential part of getting the fruit off the tree. So once the fruit all comes off the tree, we'll collect it in these nets, blow the leaves out, and then take it to the mill.
Aside from the harvest, fruit flies are the biggest challenge for Tom Curry and Southern California olive growers. I can see the flies darting all out through here. They're like, psh, psh, psh,
Yeah, this is one of their favorite varieties. It's Manzanilla, and they just love it. So we've kind of designated this now for our experiments. We've got something going on with understanding the life cycles, some prey predator things going on. Anything we can do, because it's our biggest issue in Southern California is olive fruit fly as far as quality of fruit.
So which of these are infected with fruit fly?
Well, Technically, right now, all this fruit should be green. So one of the things a fruit fly does is it releases a hormone in the fruit that makes it ripen prematurely. So any of the dark fruit that you see on this tree is probably infected by olive fruit fly.
Like that one?
Exactly. And you can even see some of the holes where the fruit fly has come out. So if you look on the inside of this fruit, it's all black and
Yucky.
there's,
Ooh, there it is.
yeah, there's a,
So that's the larva, huh?
yeah. So this is not what you want in your olive oil.
Tom sprays his trees with a mixture of kaolin clay and water. The suspension coats the leaves and the young olive fruits and discourages the fruit flies from laying their eggs. He's experimenting with other deterrents too.
Here's another technique that we're playing around with. We've been doing this for several years to prevent the olive fruit fly from infecting the tree or the fruit, is we do some deficit irrigation. So the tree dries out a little bit, the fruit desiccates slightly and gets wrinkly. And because of that texture, the olive fruit fly doesn't want to land on the fruit, and there's not a high water content attracting it.
So you're underwatering the tree so the fruits shrivel a little bit.
They shrivel a little bit, and then we can irrigate them and they plump right back up and they'll look just like this after one irrigation cycle.
And that's when you pick.
And then we pick right after that.
While Tom and his team press olives from their own groves, they also press olives from neighboring groves. This season, they're processing nearly 300 tons of fruit in their mobile mill. What are you looking for in olives? What makes good olive oil?
Well, good fruit is essential because it's fruit juice. Definitely you're going to get a difference in when you have semi-green olives. See, these are just turning. You have green olives that are going to give you a different flavor profile. You mix these all together and you get this really complex flavor profile.
Different olive varieties processed differently. Since the goal is maximum flavor, the miller's experience and expertise are key. Speed is critical. Moving fruits from tree to the press is best done within 24 hours. And how the olives are handled matters too. As they mature, the fruits take in oxygen and release carbon dioxide. Without proper ventilation, the olives can start to turn, and those critical flavor compounds break down. Tom analyzes the fruit for its oil and moisture content. He weighs it to estimate how much oil the fruits will release. He monitors the temperature. If the fruit's too cold, it won't release all of its oil in the milling. Too warm and the fruits rot. 70 degrees is the target. At the mill, the fruit is separated from the leaves and debris. It's washed and then it's crushed. The mill pulverizes the olives, pits and all, to make a mash. The mash goes into a malaxer, which is basically a large mixer. As the mash goes around, the shrapnel of broken pits helps macerate the cells and release the oils. Next, the mash goes into a centrifuge, where it spins at high speed to separate the oil from the solids and the water. This whole milling process takes about an hour. Then the olive oil gets stored in containers that protect it from light, air, and heat, all of which can break down the olive oil's flavors. Tom also makes specialty oils by crushing oranges, lemons, or herbs with his olives. Why flavored oils?
The real reason is because people like flavor. I mean, if you look at what's going on in any industry, flavors are a big part of it, whether it's whiskey or water or any of these things. People want flavor.
Temecula Olive Oil Company has stores with tasting bars across Southern California. When I go to buy olive oil in the market, I see virgin, extra virgin, cold pressed, first pressed. What do those mean?
Marketing. There are some strict regulations both in the EU and here in California on what extra virgin means. It has to go to a taste panel and it passes certain positive attributes and no negative attributes like rancidity or anything like that. Problem with that is it's not telling you if you like that olive oil, what the style is or anything like that.
So the bottom line is, buy what you like. Igal Benaderet makes award-winning olive oil from his small grove that overlooks the Ramona Grasslands Preserve in North San Diego County. More than a decade ago, A wildfire burnt the native habitat surrounding the home Igal shares with his wife, Beth Gordon. After the fire, Igal and his next-door neighbor planted 150 olive trees to see if they could make olive oil. When Igal was growing up in Israel, fresh olive oil was part of every meal. Today, Igal's favorite olive tree is a Spanish variety called picual. Its oil has a light, fruity flavor and a peppery bite. These olives are beautiful. These are the picual, yes?
Those are the picual olives, and you can see it's a medium-sized olive.
What do you like about it?
I like the flavor of the oil. It's grassy, it's fruity, and it's very fresh. It's very easy to grow olive trees. It's much harder to grow fruits, good olives.
Well, tell me about growing the trees.
Trees basically need sun, soil.
Well, this isn't especially rich soil.
It's DG, less clay, but it doesn't need any special soil.
And what about fertilizer?
I don't fertilize too much. I give about half a bag of steer manure, and that's about it.
Not much nutrients there. And what about water? How much water do they take?
Now I give about 25 gallons every other week.
Per tree?
Per tree. I know it's nothing.
It's nothing. Olive trees are not a short-term investment. Young trees produce some olives each season, but it's only after 15 years that they reach full production. From then on, the trees can produce for centuries. Most people think of olives as being a vegetable. After all, they're not very sweet. But did you know that olives are actually stone fruits? Just like peaches and plums and nectarines, they've got a really fleshy outer portion, but inside, there's a hard stone. Igal prunes the trees to keep them on the small side. That makes them easier to care for and easier to pick. Igal, this looks like the perfectly pruned tree. I see that you're keeping it small.
I'm keeping it small, and I keep it very open in the middle. I need the sun to reach each branch because the sun is what will make the bloom, and the bloom will make the olives.
I noticed there's no low branches on this tree. Why did you take those off?
I left it by purpose because I have a new system of fighting the olive fly.
Igal, like most olive growers, works hard to keep olive fruit flies at bay. He constantly experiments with ways to limit damage to his olives. Igal uses traps to monitor the presence of the tiny flies. As soon as the flowers are pollinated and the fruit set, Igal goes on the offensive. Usually, Igal coats his trees in kaolin clay. But this season, he's trying something new.
This is the most exciting thing that I have here. This is a net that I cover the tree. It's a barrier. Olive fly cannot go through the net.
It's a mesh.
It's a mesh.
So the holes are so small that the flies don't get through?
The fly cannot get through.
So how do you know when to put it on? Because if you put it on too early, these are wind pollinated. The flowers won't get pollinated.
Right. It's really important to put it on the right time, and it's right after we see the olive seed hardening. Olive is still very small. I put the net on, and I don't worry about spraying, and I don't worry about at all.
Oh, look at that!
Look at this. Those are perfect olives.
Wow.
I mean, it's each olive is perfect. There is no stings.
No brown, no stings.
It's perfect olive oil.
Igal is driven to produce the best tasting olive oil. One of his very first harvests yielded 300 bottles and a silver medal at the Los Angeles International Extra Virgin Olive Oil Competition. Making great olive oil takes determination, it takes skill, and an obsessive attention to detail. With the harvest just a few days away, we get to work inspecting the olives and removing the few damaged fruits. Is this standard? Is this what most orchards do?
I don't know anybody in the world that go and pick up the bad olives.
You're just obsessed?
Yeah, it need to be perfect or just forget about it.
One down, 89 to go. Early this morning, an army of helpers arrived to bring in the harvest.
But what's happening today is we're harvesting the olives. We have to harvest all of the trees in one day because we need to press the olives within 24 hours in order to make really good oil.
But here you have just some beautiful branches here like this that just, they're just full.
I really don't know most of them. You know, my 3 boys gathered all his friends and other people they have, and people come.
These olives and this olive oil is really a labor of love. People joke that Igal knows each olive by name.
I'm here with a million people, or at least that's how it feels. We're all picking olives. See, we're white, kaolin clay from the trees. Have you ever eaten a raw olive? Oh, that is so bitter. Oh.
The idea to make the freshest olive you can do is to mill them as quick as you can. So I'm going to leave in 4 in the morning with the truck to the mill. We have an appointment there at 11 tomorrow morning, and by 1 we're going to have incredible olive oil.
With olives on board, we drive 5 hours north to Alea Farms in Templeton, California. Time is critical. Igal wants his olives pressed within 24 hours. So a whole year of work, and this is the moment.
Yeah, and soon we're going to get the olive oil on the other side, and all the smell and the sound, I'm very excited.
Igal could have the olives pressed closer to home, but in Templeton, they get pressed by Yves Julien, one of the state's master millers.
I'm a master miller, so I'm supposed to do the best olive oil that I can for my customers.
Yves weighs Igal's olives, then loads them into the mill where they're washed and mashed into a paste. The paste gets churned for 15 to 20 minutes. Then it's put through a series of centrifuges to separate the solids from the liquids, then the water from the oil. The end product is a green gold liquid, fresh pressed extra virgin olive oil, and perhaps another award winner.
I think that this oil is more fruity, if I remember well, more fruity than 2 years ago. So it means that maybe a gold?
Yves and his wife Clotilde came to California's Central Coast for its potential to grow high-quality olives. They planted 1,000 olive trees at Alea Farm, and eventually they passed their orchards on to Rick and Karen Roach.
California olive oil, it's the soils, it's the climate, it's our temperature. It's the best oil that you can produce in the world. Green, grassy, absolutely phenomenal.
The olive oil industry in California is growing leaps and bounds. The olives always grow really well where the vines grow. We've had several companies come from Europe area that are establishing headquarters here in California. I think they've all realized just the growing conditions in California are very conducive to olives.
For Igal, a year's worth of work culminates in this moment.
This is so good.
Oh, can I taste it? What are you tasting?
It's a little bit bitter, and you feel the bitter on the side of your mouth. And then when you swallow, a few moments after it's getting very spicy over here. And that's what you want. You want the bitterness, you want the pungent. It's pretty incredible. I mean, it's so fresh. I mean, nothing is so fresh as an oil.
I taste a little bit of bitter. It's not greasy. It's oily, but there's no grease. Oh, and it hits me here.
It does. It does. It's perfect. That's what it should do.
It should do?
It should do that. And then you're going to cough a little bit.
Yeah,
if
I
you're
just did.
Yes, that's what it is.
Oh, but it's great. Then it's gone. Oh, yum. All the time and the attention Igal put into growing his olives was definitely worth it. I taste the love in every drop. The old world may own the history of the world's olive oil, but California is surely its future.
This is so good.
Yeah, I want to try pepper. But look at, just look at the color contrast.
And this is different of the olive is different with each piece of food that you take.
See you next time on A Growing Passion.